Hello friend and welcome to Nature versus Marketing channel. My name is Ilya and today we are going to dive into the least exciting topic in botanical field, into the building of the greenhouse. Let's dive into the process a little bit deeper to let you know what would be the better choice of material, how to organize the process, how to prepare everything, and how not to fuck up your project. I was bumping between the wood and steel, trying to find the most practical and optimal decision between time and money to fit the conditions. Finally and unexpectedly, my father offered to check the metal framing technique. I did, and here we are, already in the process of making sketch of the greenhouse. I had some limitations with the placement of the construction, such as anchoring, construction materials, and trees that needed to stay alive. I applied the measurements of my space to the sketch of the greenhouse and calculated the first measurements to prepare and adjust the size of the metal frames. After applying the measurements to my sketch and cutting off the metal frame, I started assembling the basement layer. Generally speaking, you need to prepare wood basement. It should be tough, it should stay in the earth solid, because further you are going to place your construction on those anchors and you'll need to fasten it with the construction very toughly. Toughly to avoid seeing your greenhouse flying to your neighbors. I'd recommend you to make a few joints to understand the method of preparing of the metal frame and to always keep in mind that every joint should be assembled once. In case you unscrew some of the joints, never use the same holes again, if you want your construction to be solid and tough. My primary tools were 9 and 12 mm screws, drill, clamps and magnets. With this setup, you can manage everything without additional help and hands. In my case, I use applicable anchors for the construction in the end of the process. You can be in demand of having veggies in your yard all year around, or you may need some shade for your bonsai or cactuses. You may dig your greenhouse into the earth, or you can place it on top of whatever you desire. The last and only thing that would matter for you is the question of the material you choose. I wanted to use a
part of the ground floor as a storage place for the soil and other stuff I'm working with, and another part was dedicated to the plants that prefer shadow. The second layer is planned to be split into working section and different plant zones. I wasn't really sure if everything was done correctly, but at some point it became obvious that the frame measurements were applied incorrectly. Nevertheless, I continued assembling the poles and the second layer. I found that I had made a mistake with the elongation of the metal frame on one side of the construction. It was easy to fix. I unscrewed the connection point, cut the extras and screw it back. Later I also realized that my ground floor was missing reinforcement, so I left the greenhouse construction to fix this issue. I decided to use diagonal reinforcement balks to make second floor stronger and to avoid construction beam bumping inside of the greenhouse. quite some time I was unsure what type of roof would be best for my greenhouse, a two-sided or one-sided roof. I was concerned that the roof might not be strong enough to hold my weight, meaning I couldn't press on the weak points without poles as the frame could be damaged. I choose a one-side roof to prevent extra humidity in the greenhouse and around it because the average humidity level is 70% in the summer season. According to my plan, water should fall from the roof straight behind the wall of the house where we have a small pond. Now I think that the next greenhouse would have two-sided roof, as it might be easier to construct and more useful for extra watering of plants when they need it. In the final result, I made the frame with an 18 cm step between the poles. This allowed me to make the frame evenly strong, and luckily this step length matched my limitations and the shape of the construction. For gaps longer than 80 cm, I reinforced the frame by screwing two frames together to create the one strong beam. With a few small adjustments, the roof fit perfectly, and the only thing left to do were shade and pest protection. I wanted an open greenhouse because most of my plants prefer high air circulation. This means that pests can freely fly around, and you need to manage the question of pest control on your own. Systematic pest control methods with organic solutions is a broad topic in our hobby, but the most important thing to keep in mind is that your plants need treatment at least once a year. And my personal advice, never use the same product twice if it's working, if you want it to continue working. Always change the product to another one that's working, because insects can gain immunity. The toughness and strength of your metal frame define its usability. For a flat surface, to decrease the pressure, I added additional ribs. For the floor and walls, to stand confidently, diagonal and vertical reinforcements are necessity. You can always check what potential weight your construction can bear with a smaller model or by applying simple rules and methods for using the material. I started with a shade that blocks 25% of UV light, but I feel like that it's not enough in my case. So in the near future I'm planning to double the sun protection. You might guess, why this dude needs a greenhouse? Why to make a video about it? What else can we see on this channel? So here is the thing. We are in the process of opening Museum of Exotic Plants on Madeira Island. This island can be a sanctuary of our planet diversity, and I'm primarily busy with the searching of plants that can join this heritage of our beautiful nature we are living in. Because if not to do it, tomorrow our kids will watch plants only in 4K. During the work on visual representation of each plant, carving and cutting stone pots, while we receiving approvals and certificates for our plant collection, I would be glad to share with you my experience that I have while I'm keeping my plants in different climate, environment and conditions. So guys, thank you for joining me in this video process. It was a pleasure for me to share with you my experience. I hope you will find a lot of useful tips. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and happy gardening!